Mr. No. Hello, everybody. Hi. I just want to check in real quick, talk about spells and word casting. Okay, because I know people hear spells and you hear, though your tongue is more powerful than you know, and people don't understand what that is, right? And a lot of times in our life growing up, there were spells that was placed upon us by people that we love, by our parents, by our siblings, by our relatives, by our loved ones, by our family, by our friends, right? And we don't know what they're doing when they're doing it. And 9 times out of 10, they don't know what they're doing when they're doing it. But please understand, you can be placed under a spell with words. Once you understand that words have energy and that energy has to transmute to the receiver in a certain way, and whatever frequency those words are in, you will get the transmutation of that energy inside of yourself. Okay, there has been studies where people have literally talked into plants in a different way, and each plant will grow differently based on the words that they said to a particular plant, right? So the words of affirmation, the words of love, the words of compassion, the words of respect that was spoke unto a particular plant grew in abundance. Like it was green, it was strong, it was very abundant within its plant self, right? But the other plant that they talked the rhetoric in, the disrespect in, the hate in, that plant shriveled up and like died. Okay, so you have to understand words are very energetic. Words play a big part into your life. Okay, now I'm about to give you a few examples because it's about to be real quick. Okay, because I got other shit to do. This is about to be real quick, but words play, and words have words have a very important meaning to them. Okay, it's not just words. Those words hold energy. Okay, so let's just say you growing up in a family, right, and your family has this rhetoric. Your family has this rhetoric. Your family believe in this reality. Your family believes in this energy. They will speak that energy upon you for years upon years upon years. Oh, you just like such and such. Oh, you're just like your mother. You're just like your father. Oh, you're just like your sister. Oh, well, you're always going to do that. You're always going to do this. And you're going to do this. And you ain't going to do nothing. And you ain't going to be about nothing. Those are spells, y'all. Like, those are spells. Those ain't just words. Those are spells. Okay, please understand that. So if those are spells and you grow up in your family, right? You grew up to be 20, 30, 40, 50, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in the same predicament as the spells that was placed upon you, as the words that was placed upon you, because you let those spells take over your life, right? Like you didn't know what they were doing. Like you didn't know what they were saying. They were actually speaking your reality into an existence, because what words have the possibility to do, words can change things. Okay? If you're not clear, if you're not aware, if you're not conscious of the things that you allow in your life, even in the word sense, even the shit that come out your fucking mouth, you too. Okay, you can cast spells on people too. Even if you're not aware of the things that come out of your mouth, you have the ability to cast spells on people. Okay, and people have that misconstrued because they believe spells only come from witches. Spells only come from voodoo. Spells only come from hoodoo. But that is so far removed from the fucking truth, y'all. That is so far removed from the truth. Spells come from you. Spells come from your tongue. Okay? Spells come from what you say. All right? Spells come from what you adhere to. Okay, so if you're in the space in your life and your family spoke all this shit upon you, and then you find yourself in that particular predicament, you have to make a conscious decision on when you ready to break that spell. Okay, and you can break that spell, but that spell has to be broken by different energies. Okay, that spell has to be broken by different um, things that you put into your life. Okay, you have to speak life into yourself. You have to speak love into yourself. You have to speak abundance into yourself. You have to speak greatness into yourself. Okay, you have to speak grace into yourself. You have to speak compassion into yourself. Okay, you have to forgive yourself for the times where you could have fell in that spell. You could have believed that you was a shit because your family told you was a shit. You could have believed that at one time, but you have the ability to change that. Understand that you have the ability to change that, and your ability to change that comes from within you. You have to break that spell. All those people coming to you in your inbox and your DM talking about, oh, there's a spell cast over you. If you send me $100, I can break that spell for you. Y'all better stop paying y'all money to people like that, because that don't work. That does not work. Okay? Usually 9 times out of 10, those people are scammers. Okay? And the ones who are not scamming in that way, they just trying to take your money. The other ones would try to assist you, but in reality, they're putting another spell on you, because now you are relinquishing your power to somebody else. Y'all better watch all those. Oh, well, I'll break the spell for you. Okay? Understand that. You can break the spell amongst yourself. The change comes from with you. You have the ability to change your reality. You have the ability to change your outcome. You have the ability to change your perception and understand the words that people placed upon you. Understand the words that you place on other people too. Okay? Because coming from me, I am an Aries and I have a lot of Leo fire in me. Okay? I'm very fiery, and and there are times in my life where I used to talk reckless. Yes, I used to talk very reckless to people when I got upset. Okay, I had to understand what those words were doing to people. Okay, did I feel justified in saying them because I was upset at the time? Yes. Okay, but I had to understand, even when I'm upset, I have to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. Okay, Chris Tucker. All right, I had to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. I had to understand the words, how they came out into the public, how they affected the people that was hearing it, even if I was mad. And people have to understand that it's not just about, oh, well, I want to say it because I want to say it. No, what are you saying that's affecting the people? Like, what are you saying that's affecting the people that's around you? If people that's around you are affected by your words in a traumatic way, you have to be careful of what you say, because you have the ability to cast spells on people. Okay, now when it comes to telling the truth, you can tell the truth about somebody. You can make people aware of themselves. You can make people aware of their attitudes. You can make people aware of the things they're doing. But when it comes to the point of belittling and degrading and talking down and wishing unaliving on people, you have to understand, once you start doing that, you are now casting spells upon people. Once you tell people they're going to hell, you're casting a spell on somebody. Once you tell people they not shit, you are casting a spell on that particular person. Okay, and you have to be aware of the things that you say, even in your madness. Okay, because people don't understand, energy is within everything. Energy is with everything. And even if you don't believe that your body and your soul and your makeup and your reality is affected by the energies around you, they are. Understand that everything is affected by the energies that you allow yourself to be in. Everything is affected by the energies that you allow in your life. Okay, so when it comes to words, okay, words have the possibility of breaking people down. Okay, and people figure like, oh, well, well, you should have been strong enough, you shouldn't have had nobody break you down. But if you don't understand the power in words, if you don't understand how words play a part in your energetic makeup, of yes, you're gonna let those words take you down. okay? Because you have to build a shield up. Those words that come into your ear energetically, you have to transmute those words into another sense of energy, okay? So let's just say someone tells you that you're not smart, you dumb, okay? You have to keep on telling yourself, no, I'm smart. I know. Like, no, I am smart. I am brilliant. I am a thinker. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. Okay? You have to reinvert that energy, okay? And the more you reinvert that energy, the more that energy will play a part in your life. But if you just sit there and let people degrade you, you just sit there and let people belittle you, you just sit there and let people say whatever they want to say to you, especially if you have the ability to, if you can leave a situation, leave. If you're in a situation where you can't leave, you have to reinvert those words that they're saying into yourself, into your energetic makeup, okay? Because once you understand, those words hold power. Even if you don't know what that power holds in those particular words, those words hold power. And if you digest those words in your body energetically, you're going to get the outcome of that energetic response, or that energetic frequency that those words hold. And you have to understand that, right? Like, even when it comes to songs, I love music. I'm a big manifester. I can manifest just like that. So when it comes to songs and music, I manifest a lot with music. Even when you sing certain songs, okay? Even when you hear certain songs, those certain songs have the energetic makeup and energetic hold to make you feel a certain way, to make you react in a certain way, to make you dance in a certain way. And that's because words are powerful. So if you put words and a harmony and a beat together, that could be a dangerous thing, okay? If you don't know what energy, or what energy you are listening to, okay? Let's just say you a person that wants to have a loving relationship, right? You're not really looking for a relationship, but you know, like, a loving relationship, a relationship about love, and that's respectful, and a relationship that's gonna feed into you is what you desire, right? If you're in a place in your life where only thing you listen to is breakup songs, if you're a place in your life and the only thing you listen to is they cheated songs, I hate you songs, you're not going to manifest a loving, abundant relationship out of that energy, okay? Because your whole energetic makeup now is about breaking up. So if you was to get with somebody, the first thing that's going to be on your mind is letting go. The first thing going to be on your mind is breaking up, because that's the energy that you've been listening to, right? Or even if when you go to the gym, everybody has a playlist, right? So when you go to the gym, you got songs that make you go. You got songs that's going to make you put it in. You got songs that's going to make you push it to the limit, because you know at the gym you're trying to transform yourself, but in the arena of your transformation, you're going to get tired, right? You're going to get tired. You're going to get exhausted. You're going to be like, man, I feel like giving up. But that music, whatever your music is in your playlist, that music is going to help you push to the end. That music is going to help you push you to your end goal, and to your end time, into your exercise regimen, right? And even when you're quote unquote about to fuck some shit up, okay? You about to go and nuck if you buck, if you may say, because I'm old, I'm in my 40s, so if you nuck if you buck, okay? If you go try to nuck if you buck, okay? And those particular, you listen to songs that make you nuck if you buck, right? Because those songs give you energy to go and be in that frequency, to go and do that whatever you're trying to do when you knucking in your bucket. Okay, so please understand that. That's why words and music is very powerful within itself. So if music is powerful, the thing that you listen to is powerful. The words that you speak upon yourself is powerful. The words that you speak unto other people is powerful. The words that you allow people to speak onto you is powerful. And even if you're in a situation where people are being verbally abusive, you have to leave. That abuse is detrimental to your existence too. Because a lot of people believe, well, they're not hitting me, they're not physically doing anything to me, so I can stay a little bit longer. But understand those particular words and those energies and how they play into your spirit has the ability to break your spirit down. Okay, it has the ability to not feed your spirit. It has the ability to take from your spirit. And if your spirit is broken, you are now allowing anything, everything at any time to come and destroy you. Okay? That's why you have to keep your spirit up. That's why you have to keep your love inside of you up. That is a protection. It protects you. It gives you a certain era when you are walking around this world, when you're walking around this community, when you're walking around in this frequency. That particular energy, love, abundance, peace, joy gives you a certain kind of magnetic atmosphere that other things can penetrate you. Okay? The more you allow the other things to penetrate into your energy makeup, the more you allow things to penetrate into your frequency makeup, you have the ability to have those things to destroy you. Okay? My awakening is sending me left, right, back, forth. I don't know what God called on me now. I'm really rising queen, pardon me. Okay, no, that's fine. I'm awakening. Let me read this all over again. I'm awakening is sending left, right. Because you have to be grounded. I am reflections. You have to be grounded right now. Okay? You have to literally stop. And I believe that you may be going back and forth and left and right because you're not, you want to change, but you're not aware how that change may look for you, right? So you may be going back to what you used to do. You may be going back to what people are telling you to do. You may be going back to what people are suggesting you to do, right? You just don't know where you want to be. Okay, you don't know where you want to be. So at this particular time, you have to stay grounded. You have to disconnect. That's what you have to do. If you don't know where you're going, you have to disconnect because you have to stop. All right? Because a lot of times people think, well, I just keep on going and I just find my way. A lot of times that doesn't work for people. Like you have to find out what works for you. And in the middle of you feeling like you going back and forth because you have no grounding, you have no footing, like you have nothing to hold you upon your energetic square, right? And what that would look like is, let's just say you are adhering to something, right? Like there is something that you want to be in life, like you want to awaken spiritually, right? But your friends telling you to do this, or you might have a partner that you with that's telling you to do this, right? Or you might have your family that's telling you, oh, you should go to church, or whatever the case is, right? So right now, your spirit is conflicted. Like you don't know what you want to do. Like you don't know where you want to go. You don't know how that will look for you because you're now not tuning into yourself. You're not grounding into yourself. You're not setting up your platform. You're looking outside of yourself for the answer. And the answer will never be outside of yourself. That's why you have to disconnect. And the more you disconnect, the more you will get in tune with yourself. And the more you get in tune with yourself, the more you will be in tune with where you're supposed to go. Okay? Because people have to understand that if you're not aware of what God sent you to do or how your purpose is supposed to be or how the reason why you're supposed to be here on this plane, on this planet, there are a lot of things you can do, right? Now, some people adhere to astrology. You may want to check out your birth chart. Some people don't adhere to astrology. You may want to adhere to numerology. You want to check out your life path number, okay? Or you just want to, even if people don't believe in things like that, excuse me, you want to revert to your highest self, okay? And I always tell people this, like, even if you don't feel like you're, okay, so I died a year and a half ago. I came back, all changed. Oh yeah, you have a special purpose. You and your purpose is so strong it's not letting you forget that. That's why you having a difficult time now, because your higher self is tugging at your lowest self, and know you don't know what that is. Like your your higher self is tugging at your lower self, and now you're in this battle. Like you don't know what to do now, because whatever purpose you're here to serve, or whatever purpose you're here, what God called you to be, is a very powerful purpose. Okay. Now that sounds right, higher or lower, that represents. Yes, because like I said, when people talk about spirituality, like there are numerous of things that you can adhere to, right? But everybody's not going to adhere to the same thing. Everybody's not going to get the same thing. Everybody's not going to be in tune with the same thing. It's just, in spirituality, is just the thing that you have to do in order for you to get to your highest sense of self. That's it in a nutshell. Okay, some people may use astrology, some people may use numerology, some people may use, how they just want to look going forward, how they just want to be abundant within themselves, how they want to be abundant in God's purpose. But the whole purpose is to get to your highest sense of self. Okay, so right now you're in the battle. Your lower self is here, your highest self is here. Okay, and I always tell people, your highest self will always be there with you, even if you don't know what it is, or even if you don't know what your purpose is, or even if you don't know how that feels. Okay, because right now with you, so much has called and came to me, magic numbers all day, at least 20 times a day. I don't know if you're into numerology. I would suggest for you to tap into your life path number. At least that's the easiest thing you can do. Tap into your life path number. Okay, Google life path number, or send me your birthday and I can tell you your life path number. Okay, you're an 8. This is the 8 year. Like this is the year of karma. Okay, so you have to tune in. You have to tune everything out. Like, even if you don't know where to go in your higher self, you have to reflect on the things that you did in the past. Reflect on the outcome that those things gave you. And if those things gave you a bad outcome, if those things made you already there. Okay. All right, I got you. If those things made you uncomfortable, if those things didn't serve you, you have to shut that down. You have to shut it down. And by you getting all these confirmations and these angel numbers in your life, you have to listen to your consciousness. Okay? Okay, yes. You have to listen to your consciousness. Okay? And I tell everybody this because everybody want to hear God, and everybody want to know what God is and what God look like. Okay? Your consciousness is your direct correlation to God's spirit. Understand that. Your consciousness is the direct correlation between you and God. Okay, that's that voice. That's God's voice. So when you do something and your consciousness tells you not to, right? Your consciousness tells you not to. Your consciousness tell you, are you sure you want to do that? Okay, are you sure you want to do that? Oh, okay, more now. I know they are. We work together. I work with my. Okay, that's good. You can tap into your deities. You can tap into how you want to use your altar. You can tap into all of that. Okay, but what I need you to start doing is, from us, I didn't know it's been a good or bad experience. What I need you to start doing is tapping into your consciousness. Okay, the more you tap into your consciousness, the more you're going to have a ground setting. The more you're going to have a footing onto your journey. The more you tap into your consciousness. Okay, and how you tap into your consciousness, you have to remove your ego. You have to remove that. Okay, you could call it Christ consciousness. People call it higher consciousness. You have to tap into that conscious of you. You have to, yes, you have to let go of the ego. You have to suffer an ego death. Okay, what you have to do is you have to go outside of yourself, outside of your ego, because when you are listening to your consciousness is not going to tell you to go beside yourself, right? Your consciousness will never tell you to go against yourself. Your consciousness will never tell you that. Your ego will tell you that. Your ego will tell you that you have to fight. Your ego will tell you that you have to do these things to this particular person for whatever reason. Your ego tells you that you have to put people in a harmful situation. Your ego tells you that. Okay? It will be inside of you. You have to connect to inside of you. You have to connect into your heart space. Because especially as a masculine, you have testosterone, and if you don't connect into your heart space, you're going to just move on your ego and your testosterone. That's why a lot of guys or males or masculines are toxic, because they're not reverting back into their heart space, which they can. They're not reverting back into their heart space. They so into the ego of themselves, because your ego is always going to tell you you the only one that matters. Your ego is always going to tell you that you are that no matter what, people have to no matter what, okay, you have to fight everybody. You have to tell everybody off. You have to hurt people and all this other stuff. My divine minute is like out of control. Well, you got to tap in, because in order for you to get spiritually enlightened, in order for you to get to that highest part of yourself, you have to tap into both sides. And I think that's where the divide is today. People are just so focusing on one side of themselves when it took your mother and your father to create you. So, of course, you're going to have a side that's feminine and a side that's masculine. But a lot of males, a lot of guys are just only tapping into their masculine side and don't remember that they came from a womb. Like they don't remember that they came from within their mother. Like they was in their mother's body. They was hearing their mother's heart in the womb. Like you can't tell yourself you want to be spiritually enlightened, and you want to be closer to God consciousness or Christ consciousness without the feminine aspect of your life. You will never be able to do that. You will never be able to do that, because that masculine, that masculine testosterone of you is telling you that women are made just for you, right? Women are made just for you. They're only here for your purpose. They only here for you to use in the way you want to use them, right? They only here for you to get what you need to get out of them and push them to the side, okay? But once you tap into your feminine side of you, you're going to understand that the feminine part is where you gain your wisdom from. The feminine part is where you gain your heart access from. Your feminine side is where you gain your compassion from. And even without compassion, without love, without understanding, without grace, there will be no growth anywhere. So if nothing is growing, because the feminine aspect of society is drowning, what do you think is going to happen to society? It's going to fail. It's going to fall. That's why we see a whole dynamic makeup of the feminine and the masculine, and people starting these movements, and everybody's having these podcasts, because it's just it needs to be disruptive in order for it to align back to where it's supposed to be aligned to. Okay, that's the reason why we're seeing all this rhetoric. That's the reason why we see all these podcasts. That's the reason why we see the 4B movement or the drizzle, whatever they're doing. Like, that's the reason why we're seeing all this, because there has been a divide in the feminine energy, because even women will move in their masculine energy, right? We see women, moving like guys, having sex like guys, just moving in their ego like men. So even in that aspect, the masculine, like that other side of masculinity, has taken over like the whole world. Okay, and it's time for the feminine side to rise. It's time for the feminine side to be noticed. Because without the feminine side, there would be no growth. There would be no love. There would be no unity. Like there would be nothing of that sort. So, yeah. Higher self is what I'm trying to do with me. Yes, and it takes time. It takes time because, especially as a guy, you grew up and people told you, the man was the head and the woman have to follow, and you right, and the woman have to do what you say, or whatever that case is, whatever you was born into energetically as a man, you have to kind of let that go. Yes, false teachings. You have to let that go in order for you to get to your divinity. Because how can you call yourself divine or how you call yourself supreme when you don't acknowledge or don't tap into the thing that brought you here? That doesn't work like that. That doesn't work like that. Okay, so what you have to do now, you have, like you said, you have to unlearn to relearn, and that takes time. But even by you understanding that the things that you have to do in order to do that, you're on the right path. Because even people who are spiritual, or even people who have the Christ consciousness or the higher consciousness or whatever you call it, there are times where you have to relearn. You have to let go of things that you thought that you knew. Like you have to, in whatever aspect of yourself that you are in, like you will always be evolving until you leave this fucking place. Like you will always be evolving. Like there is nobody here that's just has everything right, like have everything together. Now there may be people who have more more excuse me, there might be people being more abundant in certain areas, right? But that doesn't mean they're abundant in all areas. Yes, it's not the so bad way reach again. Yeah, it keeps going. The more you awaken, the higher you will go. The higher you will go. And that's it. And that's just like anybody, like evolution of energy. Some people can be low, but they can get lower. Like it's the same thing. It's just up to what energy and what energy and what things you want to adhere to. Like you have the decision. Do you want to go higher, or do you want to be lower and destructive? Like it's up to you. You have that choice. Okay? But people have to understand what that looks like. So even by you feeling like you're not grounded or you getting pulled every which way, you have to disconnect. Like I told you before, you have to disconnect. Okay? Disconnect. Tap into your heart space. Tap into your consciousness, because you have to understand, especially with guys, when you tap into your heart space, your friends around you are going to talk about you. People around you is going to talk about you, because there's going to be times so you have to surrender in your ego. Not because you scary, not because you want to tear some shit up, okay? But just because you have the choice to walk away. You have the choice to not bring that on no one else. You have the choice to move in your lane. Okay. Now your ego is supposed to I tell people all the time. Your ego is supposed to be present when your back is against the wall, and they not letting you out. You in the house, it's just you and them, and they not letting you go. Then you put your ego up to the highest potential, because now it's about survival. That's how you're supposed to use your ego. You're supposed to use your ego to survive. But now people use their ego just for whatever, just because they can. Right? So there are gonna be times where you will surrender to your ego and people will look at you different. So then when people say, well, even with the church thing, I don't really know the verbatim, but even when the church people say, you have to leave the world behind or pay attention to God, or you can't pay attention to God and be of the world, or whatever that is, right? Like that has some meaning in it, because when you are connecting to your consciousness, when you are connecting into your heart space, people's gonna be like, so why you didn't say nothing to them? Oh, so you just gonna forget about that? Oh, people gonna think you soft. People gonna think you scary. Like you just gonna let that happen? Like is people will revert that back to you to feed your ego, because your ego wants to go at these people, right? Your ego wants to go at these people. Your ego wants to tell everybody that you the strongest, you the toughest. Can't nobody fuck with you. You the one. Okay? Your ego is going to tell you those things. But once you tap into your God conscious says, okay, well, I know I put that ego in you for a reason, but revert back to your heart space. Can you leave? Can you change the scenario right now? Can you change the outcome right now? Do you really know these people? Is what you're trying to present off the people, do people know you? Like how they feel or what they say about you, is that really going to justify your life? Is that really going to justify you as a person? Like after you get through doing these things to these people because your ego told you to, do you feel good about that shit? Like that's why people always get liberated. That's why people always drink alcohol. That's why people always get excuse me. That's why people always get elevated. Let's put it like that. People always get elevated because after you get through doing those things, your consciousness is still there. That's why I say your consciousness is connected to God. So if you go out, something happens, right? Your ego tells you, you need to go ahead and do that. Fuck that. Did you hear what they said to you? Did you hear what they did to you? Did you hear that? Don't they can't think you a punk. They can't think you weak. You got to go and show yourself. Your consciousness is going to check come in and say, well, is that a good idea? Can you change the situation? Like, are you going to feel good about yourself after you leave this place? That is what your consciousness is going to tell you. That your consciousness is going to tell you that because that's God's voice speaking to you. Okay, that's what that is. That's God's voice speaking to you. So the more you go outside of your consciousness, okay, the more you are tapping into your ego. Okay, and once you tap into your ego, those things happen to expire and you move on your ego and not your consciousness. After you get through doing those things, your consciousness is going to still be there. And you know what your consciousness is going to tell you? Your consciousness is going to tell you how dumb of a decision that was. Your consciousness is going to tell you, I can't believe that you made that decision. Don't you know more information? Didn't I tell you? Like why didn't you listen to me? Why you just didn't stop? If I just would have, and people will go and get high and get drunk to drown out that consciousness, because the consciousness will never leave you, because that's the direct line between you and God. It will never leave you. So that's why people always moving their ego, conscious is speaking to them. They can't sleep, they can't eat, they can't do anything right. Then oh, there go the drink. Oh, there go the smoke. Oh, I gotta get rid of this consciousness. I can't listen to that. That's driving me crazy. But all in all, you're driving your own self crazy because you have a choice. And that's how that plays out in your life. That's how that God voice plays out in your life. That's how that God consciousness plays out in your life. People just haven't been tuned in. Like they don't even teach you this shit in church. People don't tune into that because they think God's voice is just this miraculous thunder voice. They're just gonna come from the clouds and they say, oh, my dear child, I am here to assist you. What, lay all your burdens down on me. That's not how that goes. And that's not how it goes. People can't connect to that because they're so used to the that hearing that they figure like, oh well, God must not be here because I don't hear no man coming from the clouds and no thunderous voice. That's not what that is. Your consciousness is that. Your consciousness is that direct correlation. That's why it's in your mind, because you know what your voice sounds like. Like, even when you get downloads, even when you get intuition, like even when you get information, you're going to listen to yourself, right? You're going to listen to yourself. You're going to hear that because it's your voice. But understand why that information is coming in your voice, because you are supposed to get the message. You are supposed to understand what this is, but that voice is being translated from your voice to God's consciousness. Understand that. That's why you have to hear it in that way. It's somebody else's voice, you wouldn't know what that was, right? Right. So when you tap into your consciousness, okay, you're on the right path. That's why I said you have to disconnect, because if you worried about what everybody else say, how everybody else moving, I can't believe you ain't got no woman that you have, that you don't want to go and fuck some bitches. You don't want to go get some cat. Like, you don't want to go and man, you don't want to go and do that. Like, you have to pay attention to where you want to go. Because even people who say all this shit, they talk all this shit, they're not going where you're going. Okay? They're not going where you're going. They don't have the same desire that you have. They don't have the same consciousness. Because it's easy for them to tell you that. It's easy. It's very easy for them to tell you that. You want to know why? Because they're not the one that's dealing with your consciousness. You are. They're not the one that's dealing with that restless spirit. You are. So it's going to be very easy for those people to say that. Understand that. Because that's why 9 times out of 10, people will tell you a whole bunch of shit and don't do it. They don't do it. But it's up to you to decide what you want to do, how you want your spirit to look, how you want your consciousness to be, what side of the train you want to be on, like what destination that you want to go to. Okay, and once you understand that, you start feeding into that, and the more you feed into that, the more that voice is going to be prevalent, and it's not going to be you have to exercise your consciousness like a muscle. Like if you was going to the gym, like you picking up weights and shit, right? Because the stronger your consciousness becomes, the stronger you all that outside noise, you gonna walk right past through it. You're not even gonna look. You're not even gonna pay attention. You're not even gonna hear it. It's just gonna be wah 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 wah, like Charlie Brown's mama. That's all you're gonna hear. Once you start using your consciousness, all you're gonna hear is wah 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 wah. Because now you understand, I can't relate to you. I can't relate to what's on outside of me. I have to be connected into what's inside of me. I had to be connected to my consciousness, because my consciousness is what's going to assist me, right? Because your consciousness is not going to leave you. That's why a lot of people don't be in peace. Your consciousness will never leave you. Your consciousness will never shut the fuck up. It will never. That's why you find people who are peaceful, because they're not fighting with their consciousness. That's the only reason why. They're not fighting with their consciousness. Now, there'll be times that they may struggle with things in life, or things may happen to them, or things may, come up in their life. But they're not struggling with that voice of the consciousness, because that voice will never leave you. That is your guide here forever until you leave here. But if you always going against that voice, you always going against that energy, you always going against that power that resides in you, how do you think your life is gonna be fucked up? Nah, it just is what it is. That's what he was talking about, judgment. The more I think about it, the more I think about it, it's like I believe you get your judgment here, because your consciousness is already there to let you know what direction to go down. You just chose to go down a different way. Okay, you go down a different way, you're going to get the judgment from that. You're going to get the effects from that. Even if you have the authority in your free will to do as you please, understand your free will comes with cause and effects. Your free will comes with cause and effects. Your free will comes with consequences. So yeah, you can do what the fuck you want to do, but understand, by you doing what the fuck you want to do, there are things that come with what you just did. You're not exempt. I say this on almost every live. You are not exempt from the human experience. You will never be exempt from the universal laws. You will never be exempt from that. Never. So did God give us free will? Yes. But there is something called cause and effect. You can't just be out there causing havoc and doing what you want to do and then get mad you get in trouble. Or get mad you get hemmed up. Or you always out there threatening people's lives and you want to fight, and all of a sudden every time you go somewhere people want to fight you and threaten your life. And look what energy that you're pulling out into the universe. The universe is going to give you just that. Okay? The universe does not know what you don't want. The universe understands what you adhere to. The universe understands what you are being abundant in. If you being abundant in bullshit, you're going to get a whole lot of bullshit in your life. Understand that. Okay? It's not by coincidence. You can't say, well, I don't want this and I don't want that, but every time you go outside, you're doing the same things that you don't want to do. You're going to get that. Everything, energy is everywhere, even in your actions, even in the things that you choose to do in your life, even how you choose to live in your life. That is a whole energy makeup. So what do you want your energy makeup to look like? You can't say you want peace and you want heaven and you want to be abundant when you out there terrorizing your city like goddamn Chucky. Who? How you gonna get that? That's not gonna happen for you. People love to believe that they can just do what they want to do and whatever they want is going to happen. No, 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 no. Energy. That's why people who move in an abundant energy or people who move in a peaceful energy, they don't even think about it. They just automatically gonna get peace. They just automatically gonna get abundance. You wanna know why? Because that's the energy that they reside in. They don't know nothing different. I mean, they know something different, but they just know I have a choice. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be hurt. I want to be at peace. I want to be happy. So if I can choose to be happy and if I can choose to be peaceful, no matter what happens to me, like I can choose to be mad all the time. That's my choice. But understand, in the choices of you being mad, you have to deal with the energy of the madness. You have a choice. You will have to deal with the energy of the madness. You will have to deal with the energy of the hurt. But if someone say, hey, you know what? No matter what happens to me, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to let nothing get me down. And I'm going to do my damn thing. Those people are going to be happy. They're going to be abundant. And they're going to do the damn thing. Understand that. Because you have a choice. Your choices comes with consequences. Okay, so when it comes to the judgment, the more I'm thinking about it, I can't say it's a judgment day because you're going to get your shit here anyway. Because even if people don't, I'm going to say this and I'm going to go because I have a lot of things to do. Okay, so even if you may see somebody in the physical makeup and you see those people going to work or getting money or getting the bag, right? They're living their life. They got the boyfriend, they got the girlfriend, they got the husband, they got the wife, they got the business, they got all this shit, right? We believe those people are abundant, right? But when you are spiritually broken, can't no money buy that. Can't no money buy the brokenness of your spirit. You can't fix your broken spirit with money. You can't fix your broken spirit with people. You can't fix your broken spirit with cars and homes and shit. You can't fix your spirit with that. That's why sometimes those be the most unhappiest people. Energetically, on this physical realm, they got everything lined up on paper. Everything is perfect. They got everything. But they don't have that peace. They don't have that love. They don't have that abundance that comes, that radiates from within. So what people have to understand is when you get all the glitz and the glamour and the fame and money and the cars and the house, that's great, okay? Because I believe you can live the way you want to live here, right? Like you don't have to be abundant in order, you don't have to go to heaven to be abundant, right? You can be abundant here. But if you are just taking all the external things that's outside of yourself and trying to push it inside of you, it's not going to feed you that way. You're not going to get fed that way. That money, that fast money, that you're not going to get fed that way. That's how people who live fast lives and fast money and they're criminals, all this stuff, they always, it's like when I'm doing this, I'm reaching on outside. It's like they reaching outside just to shove it back in because they believe if I just get a little bit more, I'm going to feel the way I want to feel. If I just get a little bit more, I'm going to be happy. If I just get a little bit more, if I just get more clothes, if I just get more money, if I just get more bitches, like if I just get more numbers, if I just get a little bit more, I'm gonna have what I want. Your abundance gonna come from that. Your abundance come from the inside out. So this is moving inside. So it's inside out, inside out, inside out, not outside in. Your abundance comes from inside out. Okay. So once people understand that it will be so easy or it's much easier for people to understand that because the rhetoric that all these things is going to bring you something ain't going to bring you shit but more things. But if you're not at peace in your spirit, if you're not at peace in your consciousness, how are you enjoying? How are you enjoying these things? That's what I'm saying. That's why how everybody has to be elevated. Everybody has to be on one. They're not enjoying it. How can you put so much rhetoric out there on bad things and you're giving bad energy and you're toxic and you're fighting and you unaliving people and how can you be at peace with your money? Because now that energy evolves, you gonna think somebody about to do the same thing to you. So what good is it for you to have these cars? What good is it for you to have this money? What good is it for you to have this home when you believe people are gonna come in and do to you the same things you did to them? So if you believe that you're not abundant, you got all this shit and you scared. That fear bounds your spirit. So how can you be abundant in this material world, which that fear has a shackle on your soul? You think that's going to free you? It's not. It's not. It will never. It will never. That will never free you. That will never feed your spirit. That will never feed your soul. Yes, it's trickery because that's what when they talking about the devil. That's all that is, y'all. And I'm here to tell y'all. That's all that is. Because you could be so egotistical where you go beside yourself. You could be so egotistical that you go beside your family. You could be so egotistical that you go beside your kids. Like you could be so egotistical you go beside your people that you're laying down with and the people that's giving you love and abundance, but something inside of you is telling you that you right because you so egotistical and you can do how the fuck you want to do. You don't care how much people love you. You don't care how much you're looking out for you. You don't care how much they keep you safe. You gonna move recklessly how you want to move because your ego tells you that one where you can move that way. So when they talk about the devil and God, and that's all that is. Because like I said, it however you feed into your energy, however you feed into that, that's what's going to come out of that. So you can't cause hell and think you're going to get heaven. I met a person on here and I have a lot of questions. This person says she was a challenger. Some people are, but some people channel for the wrong reasons. So I don't know why. Some people are, but some people challenge for the wrong reasons. But like I said, you're never going to get abundance out of a shackled soul or spirit. You never. Okay. So I'm about to go. I have shit to handle. I got things to do. And y'all have a good one. If you're not following me, if you missed any part of this live, I'm gonna upload it on my YouTube. And yeah, guys, check that out, okay? So what's on the inside reflect on the outside. Exactly. What's on the inside will always reflect on the outside. And I'm gonna leave you with this. That's why people who are abundant internally They will shine like the material shit shine that other people have. Okay? And they not necessarily have to have those material things, but their spirit is shining so much that because that's where their abundance is coming from. Understand that. Okay? So y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.